Okay. So, hot take maybe, but I think Disney is gonna make a comeback, or they are making a comeback. So D23 just happened. A lot of announcements. Before like I kind of dive into all of them, like I think something that was really cool following along on Twitter, maybe not really cool, but just really interesting. Like Bob Iger came out and he was getting cheers and I love yous, and if you didn't know, like for a little while, he retired, and Bob Chapek was the guy who kind of stepped in at CEO, and didn't work out. Basically, Disney coup, or he was told that he was being removed, and they like went back to Bob Iger. They were like, "Please come back, we need you." And Bob Iger came back, and he's made a lot of decisions. But anyways, he started talking about like how like we're really going to be focusing on sequels and franchises, which is like sad because like Disney is often like we think of like Pixar and Disney Animation Studios and like all these original ideas. And he was like, oh, like nope, we're going to stick with safe things because it's financially what's works. And then we just got like Inside Out 2, and then we have like all these announcements for like Frozen 3, Toy Story 5, Incredibles 3, like Zootopia 2, all this stuff. Even Moana 2 being moved to theatrical release. And I think it's exciting. I think it'll be good. Yeah, we're going to kind of just talk through like the Disney animation and like Pixar stuff. So first, I think we have like Incredibles 3. They just like announced that like it's being in development. Like Brad Bird is developing it. They didn't say like he was going to direct it, but he's developing it. No like release date, no nothing. I think it will be interesting. Like I don't know, the second one didn't think it was very good. I think they have to do a time jump. Like we want to see them age up, and like I think that would be cool to have like that different family dynamic with like more or older families. I don't know, but I don't know how far you want to age them up, or like if you want to do it as Dash, Violet, and Jack as adults, but also like Jack, what do you do with him when he's not a baby? Like so yeah, there's that. We don't really know too much about that right now. The next Pixar movie, like the new one that they announced, was called Hoppers, and basically like there's this girl who moves her consciousness into a robot beaver, which allows her to like infiltrate like an animal kingdom, like, or like not the animal, yeah, like whatever, and like she like meets like a king beaver, and then you have like John Hamm, who's playing like this mayor who's like anti-animal, and like he like wants to do stuff for, like I don't know, he's like selfish or something, and it's interesting. At first for me, like I love beavers, and like they have like a different kind of animation style. Like it looks kind of like Mitchell's versus the Machines, if you look at the screenshots and stuff, and it's almost like it seems like it looks like Avatar based off of like the photos, where like she's kind of like in this machine thing where like her head is kind of like stuck in, and then she gets to go into this robot beaver who's running around, but like she's still like there as a human, just kind of in this simulation. It's like VR almost, but like real. And this one, like I'm not. It seems like, oh, it's gonna be like some environmental or like animal rights thing where you kind of like fight the power, and I don't know. It doesn't seem as compelling, but like I don't know. Usually, like Pixar, like films, they have like a very like clear like selling point. The last one, it's like Luca. Oh, there's sea monsters. Sea monsters, bad, scary, hide. Soul, like, oh, meaning of life. Turning red, going through puberty turns into red. Elemental, like fire, water, love. Like very simple, very very clear. But like this one, like there's the jokes where it's like, oh, like every Pixar movie is like, oh, like what if like emotions had emotions? What if rats had emotions? What if like cars had emotions? What if whatever? And, like this one's just like, what if a robot beaver had an emotion? Like it's just kind of funny seeing those. But I'm excited because it's a beaver thing. And speaking of beaver stuff, like Zootopia 2 got announced, and Kihei Kwan is gonna be a snake named Gary, which is cool, I guess. And they said like reptiles are gonna be the focus of Zootopia 2, which I'm not sure if there are any reptiles in the first one. I know it was mostly land mammals. There were some like water animals, like hippos, but like we never saw like a water environment. And also there's like a little clip that shows like a hippo community like on a boardwalk. Almost seems like a bayou, kind of like with like beavers and sea lions and then like walruses. And so like we're gonna see part of the sea, but also like in the clip that I saw, like this beaver is showing Judy and Nick around, and like they have like fishermen's wharfs and like sushi places, and so like fish, which are fish, I guess, like are like caught and like cut, and like so they're not like real animals, it seems, but like reptiles are. Like, it's interesting what animals are what and like how that works. I think it's just an interesting world building thing. I'm excited because like beavers, more beavers. As long as we get more beavers, I'm excited for that. Zootopia is one of my favorite like Disney movies. I'm excited for the second one. I think it'll be fun. It's got this like really cute charm and just like cool aesthetic and vibe and like just really creative, and yeah, I think that'll be good. Then we have Toy Story 5, which like I'm not a big Toy Story like fan. Like I've never really been. And I don't know, like people have their opinions like, oh, like it should have ended with 3, like, oh, or 4 was good but 4 was bad or whatever. But basically this one is gonna be talking about how toys are competing with technology for like kids like attention, which I think is interesting, and like it makes sense because like toys just don't hold the same weight that they did before. I mean, it's a good way of like evolving with the times. One thing that I thought was weird, like in like the one like still that we got, like there's something about animation that like has gotten weird. It just like looks less real. Something in their eyes and like the way the pupils are, and like it was the same thing with like Kung Fu Panda 4 after the first 3 movies. Like they looked more cartoonish and more like, I don't know, something about it like I don't like. It seems flatter. I'm not sure. It seems too clean. But yeah, basically they say that like Toy Story 5 will feature an army of 50 Buzz Lightyear toys stuck in a malfunctioning play mode. They will be the villains. Which I have no idea. Like I think it'll be interesting. I'll be there to watch it pretty quickly from day one. But then also I think the last big thing we have is Frozen 2. And so the producer Jennifer Lee said like that there were a lot of questions coming over from like Frozen 2, and like she said like, and this is a quote, it will take 2 films to answer them, which like yes but no, but like you should like look up what the Frozen 2 production like process was like. It was just a mess right there, and they're just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall, and like I don't think they ever had a plan of like all these questions that came out of Frozen 2. But anyways, basically implying that like a 3rd and 4th movie is a go. And in like the one concept art like that they had, it's like Anna and Elsa teaming up, riding their like respective horses with Olaf there, of course, to like a floating city in like the clouds. So maybe like alongside Avatar, The Way of Water and Fire and Ash or whatever, like we're just gonna like see just like all the elements happen. And so like we saw like the different seasons thing, which is, I think, like the first one was winter, of course. The second one was more like fall. Maybe this one will be like spring. I don't know. And then maybe the last one will be summer, and like Olaf dies, and then it's like, I don't know. That's a joke. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm pretty excited about all of these. Like Zootopia 2 is the one I'm definitely most excited about. Like Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Incredibles 3. I'm all kind of interested. Like I think Incredibles 3 would be the one that I'm next most excited about, but like just because of what they did with 2, I'm like a little bit concerned. Hoppers, I just have no idea what to think about it. I think it's interesting that they're taking like a different animation style, like something that like we haven't seen before in Pixar, but like they're already kind of dipping into that with like Elio, which is supposed to come out I think next year, or I don't know, the end of this year. It'll be interesting, but I want to see more about it. I feel like I have to see a trailer for that first, but yeah, D23, one of my favorite times. I just sat at Twitter, refreshed, reloaded. It was cool. But yeah, until next time, bye.